For NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Join your host, the accomplished Dr. Cherilyn Lee, as she welcomes the leading experts in health and well-being as they explore the advancements in natural health, physical fitness, nutrition, integrative medicine, and self-discovery. It's time for NuWellness TV.
Welcome, everyone, to another wonderful day. You know, to just wake up is a wonderful day. So it's a blessing to have everyone here viewing the show again, and I'm just thankful that you're here. Again, she is no stranger to NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee, and that's Dr. Sarah Larsen. Thank you for being here today. Yes.
I love being here, and I hope my team will put this on all of our networks as well, because you are amazing, Dr. Lee. And
look who's talking. Thank you. Thank you.
It's my daughter and my son, our children, being some of the most precious people in our lives.
Yes.
I've brought my daughter to NuWellness to work with you, and it's been so beautiful for her while being 13 years old, and for her to have you come in, you who've mothered so many, your own beautiful daughters
and grandchildren. Yes.
And now to really bring it in for the next generation. I'm so excited to be here and to be on NuWellness TV again. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, because you're just a wonderful icon for the community and the things that you're doing and helping so many people.
Thank you. I'm so grateful we get to do that together. I always consider it standing on the shoulder of giants. You know, it's
same here. Same here. Yes.
We've gotten to learn and create so much, and what's working, we get to create miracles with over and over again. And what's not working, we let go of pretty quickly.
Exactly.
And shift what's possible.
That's kind of why we have the title today, Stem Cells, Genes, and Making Miracles for Your Body. Now, you came up with this wonderful title. I kind of told you genes and how generating your stem cells. I'm sorry. So it's stem cells and how to create wonderful, more stem cells naturally within the body, which is so important.
Body is full of stem cells.
Yes.
Your body remakes itself all the time.
Yes,
your
it does.
Genetics, your DNA, and every part of your body is listening to you constantly.
Constantly. New cells to our eyes, our bones. I mean, everything turns around liver. This is why a lot of people, if they realize what healing is all about.
Yes. When I was growing up and when I went to medical school and in the field in all of these different countries and within our country, what I realized was the science that we were learning in books and the science that I was taught by my grandmother or by the locals in this different villages was different.
Yes.
In our science books, when I was going to medical school, it said very few cells could regenerate themselves. And then the ancient walls of Egypt, in India, in South America, and all of the natives talked about immortal cells, or what today we now have found and are calling stem cells.
Stem cells, yes.
Stem cells can regenerate just about every part of your body. Right now, in science, we've only defined one part of your body that doesn't regenerate itself, and it's really amazing. It's only the lens.
The lens of the eyes.
Only the lens of your eye
exactly.
that doesn't regenerate itself. But everything else, your skin cells, literally from this week to the next week, you have completely new cells that are on the surface of your skin.
And the one good thing, too, not to cut you off, but just for a second, even when we do blood tests, we tell people certain tests we want to test every 120 days.
Yes.
Because of them being regenerated from the bone marrow
yes.
itself. So certain things you want to test like every 120 days, but not that you're going to have a flood of them every 120 days. This is happening every day, every second of the day.
Right now, as we're talking.
As we're sitting here, as you're watching the show,
yes.
you have stem cells that are being generated from your body.
right?
But
Now,
there are influences too. So we're going to
Yes.
get into the influence, whether you want to have healthy stem cells generated from your body or do you want something else being generated. This is why things totally is thrown out of balance and we have sickness and so-called diseases.
dis-ease.
The body is totally out of balance and out of sync of where it should be. And that's what we don't want. Just to a little bit when we talk about, and we haven't brought it up yet on epigenetics too, and we're going about the genes and stem cells, but I chose not to fall into some of my family's pattern.
Yes.
Because I am not going to be what they have. In epigenetics, we can change that expression and not
Yes.
have those same problems. So my family, one of my daughters, I have 3, but I have so many more that I didn't give birth to, was saying, Mom, your father passed away at 65 from heart disease. So I
Yes.
said, oh, and I know this. So when I was turning 65, they all start watching me. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. His father, my grandfather, lived to be 100.
Yes.
And I've said this before. So, what I'm going to do is follow some of his patterns and not stay coupled in that lifestyle of stress.
Yes.
And we find things to do. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's so
Oh.
imperative that people know that we don't have to have that same genetic makeup pattern.
Only
because of
2% of our body, only 2% of your genetics,
Mm-hmm.
and even that only if you're in victim mentality or
Yes.
you are a victim to not fully expressing yourself. 98% of your body is open and for your own interpretation moment to moment. In other words, if you live in the now and you're constantly staying connected with your environment and you're letting go of those things that are stressful, you're in a growth mentality.
Yes.
Well, so is your body. So is your bones. So are the regions, the parts of you that hold stem cells. And for those that don't know, we should really define out what stem cells are.
Exactly.
So from the time that you were born, a little bitty baby, there are copies of your genetics and your cells that will never change. They are pure, they're perfect, and they can become anything that they need to become. A stem cell can become a liver cell, a knee cell, a blood cell, a bone cell.
Can we just back up just a
Sure.
little bit, because we talk about stem cells, and that's actually the stem cell from the mother.
Yes.
When we start in the very beginning, so we look at the sperm and we look at the egg.
Yes.
So we got to look at where does this really start from, and when they unite,
Yes.
that's when it starts happening, and then everything starts. So it actually has to do with both parents too, with that coming
really
together.
does.
So we got to start from the very beginning of that unite and how
You're-
things unite.
Whatever you as a parent don't deal with gets passed on to your children.
Exactly.
And my daughter already has all of the eggs that will become our grandkids, my
Yes.
husband and my
Yes.
grandkids, or the future generation.
Mm-hmm.
What I was experiencing in pregnancy is the information. If you break up the word information, what got created in her eggs. And when when sperm meet the eggs,
Exactly.
the sperm are at most 72 days old, right? They've gone through, sperm live and become from the now. The egg cell is an ancient technology that was passed down from me to my daughter and when she's pregnant, she will be making the eggs. If she has a female child she will be planting the stem cells in her
Exactly.
male child that will become the sperm and male's genetics chooses whether the egg is going to become female or male. So men decide in the moment whether the child that is fertilized will become female or male.
So you
and
look at the chromosomes.
those
the
chromosomes
will determine
the X
male,
chromosome
female,
or the Y chromosome.
So those are very important. And a lot of times the men will get upset with the women. Oh, I wanted another son. I wanted another
Yes.
son, not knowing it was their chromosome. That
For a
determined-
long time,
And a
men
lot of
did
times
not
they just
know.
don't get that. Yeah.
And
And a lot of people still don't, because I have a lot of people become very angry. It's like, oh no, but I wanted this to be a boy, and especially the men.
yes,
And it was not a boy, and it's like, oh, then this is your fault.
it's
nobody's fault. It's a blessing to have the child.
It's a blessing
one.
because God sourced the universe,
Yes.
flow chose, and Chinese medicine, Indian medicine, all of these clients who've wanted to
All
have
come together.
Men children or girl
Female.
children, female or male children. There are different techniques that you can do in making sure that the environment is more favorable to the female
now
versus the male.
Yeah, that I've heard about a lot of that.
It's really beautiful to and stem cells and epigenetics. One of the things, if you're in victim mentality or if you're blaming another, less of your stem cells are available to regenerate your cardiovascular system. So if you believe, because my dad had illness at a certain age,
Exactly.
if you believe that you better watch out, you might catch the same genetics because of genetics. That's victim mentality.
Yes.
But if you believe, wow, my body is regenerated,
Healthy.
it's healthy,
Yes.
it's a miracle. What I'm experiencing right now is helping divide the cells
Yes.
into the healthiest version of
Exactly.
themselves.
And I tell people it's right here, right now.
Yes.
And I make them say it so they can start feeling that and bringing it into their body right here, right now. My body is
Yes.
generating new and healthy healing cells for my body right here, right now. Which is so important because I work with so many people that have a lot of catastrophic disorders.
Yes.
And I want them to know. And when I said, but do you believe that? I need to know and look in their eyes, do you
Yes.
believe that? Because when you believe that and take it in, it starts to happen.
It's and your body believes
system.
everything that you say.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at yourself in the mirror and you start going, "Oh my God, I look so old," or "This is happening," well, my skin is doing this. Well, your body believes it and begins imprinting that more and more. And what I use, and the people that I work with quite a bit, is tapping.
Tapping is
Tapping
wonderful.
on your heart, emotional freedom technique. And up here, your bones have within them stem cells. Your heart
Yes.
has stem cells. And when you begin tapping and you begin affirming, one of the things that we affirm, one woman had wanted to get pregnant for 10 years. And she had a core belief system that there were too many people on earth. And this woman was of integrity. Like she worked in the environment, very clean, very healthy. There was nothing wrong with her body. Her
Right.
fallopian tubes, eggs, everything ready. Same thing with her husband, everything tested. And then we began tapping. And we began tapping that even though her current belief system, she loved and accepted
Yes.
herself. And that's what emotional freedom technique. And when you're tapping, when you're placing on these particular regions,
Points,
the
yes.
particular points, if you're watching us live or if you're seeing us on the radio, I'm tapping on my heart. I'm tapping right above my eyes. These thin areas of dense fiber
Exactly.
tissue have progenitor cells within them.
And you know
These cells can remake the way that you see the
They
world.
certainly can.
They can remake the way that you're breathing. And the number one thing is not to shame yourself for any of your beliefs.
Exactly.
In medical school, I was taught all kinds of wacky things that weren't
in medical school.
in
my
medical
goodness.
school, like
Wacky.
that our
That's-
body
okay.
can't regenerate itself.
Exactly.
And medicine is now catching up a great deal to what's written in the walls of ancient Egypt,
Yes.
what's written in the walls and temples and in the books, spiritual books.
Well, there are a lot of those. But let me just go back to it. I have a lot of people, because I deal with doing testing with a machine that looks at the thymus.
Yes.
And not just the thymus, but also the lymphatic system.
Yes.
And we know, because we live in such a polluted world, that most people have congested lymphatic systems.
Yes.
And when we think of lymph nodes, we think of most people remember I had a bad toothache and it was swollen under here. That's a lymph node. Or they hear about the axillary
the lumps
lymph nodes
in
and
right.
the breast. And they get very clogged easy, but I don't want to get off into all of that. What I want to say is you can feel a stimulation of the thymus gland when you tap on the thymus. Someone once said that maybe that's why Tarzan was so strong, because he was always beating
on his chest.
So he was hitting all those points.
Yes.
But if you actually tap, you can actually feel a surge of energy going through your body just from tapping on the thymus gland.
So the thymus is right above the heart. It's right, and it in medical school taught that it wasn't really a necessary organ. Only kids had them. Right, thymus in those, and then later on when we went in and learned all about the genetics and epigenetics, when your immune system is very supercharged, when you're in your wellness, there is blood flow even to that area.
Yes, it is.
And when you're depressed and when your energy systems are low, there isn't a lot of blood flow to the area. The way to generate blood flow, again, you can physically touch it, tap it. You can put hot and cold just about anywhere on your skin. You can press, lift weights, and this will bring the stem cells and regenerative
naturally
cells back.
So I'm not going to get on this show and talk about supplements that help. This show is going to tell you natural things, and that you can do sitting in your chair right as you're at work,
in the car as you're driving down the street.
But just think, and your thoughts has a lot to do with your body and your overall health. If you're going to sit there and drive and think of all these things, and I'm on my way to a meeting and I'm stressed out, and I'm going to walk in the door and my significant other is going to go into this rage again. But if you start turning those things around, not only are you going to be healthier and happier, but your quality of life is going to be so much better.
Your brain thinks better.
Yes.
You're back to being your witty, fun self.
Yes.
When you're really in the current moment, actively co-creating miracles for yourself and others. Your stem cells in your body live in your heart, live in your bones, they live in your skin cells. And so if you're breathing into your heart and you're holding beautiful images, well, naturally your body releases stress, resonates with those around you, and puts out a cohesive field. It helps you bring in better experiences so that you feel younger and happier.
Exactly. Because some people will say, this person in this situation just really stressed me out.
Yes.
And I said, if you say that, it's going to happen. So what you're going to do is take a deep breath. And if you're dealing with a person that you feel is a stress producer, you take a deep breath. And if you watch, he will start to pattern your breath and just bring down your tone and talk a little slower. And it will get that person. And if not, especially if it's over the phone, because I've done this many times, not many, but several times with people on the phone that was so stressed out and was trying to have a conversation. So I would tell them, when you calm down, call me back.
Yes.
Because I care about you so much. I don't want you to have a stroke or a heart attack because you're just too stressed. Take some deep breaths and call me back. But you have to do that, especially when you feel it, because most people will say, oh, this job and this thing, this just stressed me out. No, you cannot allow it to filter into your space, into who you are. You cannot allow that to happen.
One of the greatest things is that when you practice 3 conscious breaths over and over again, when you practice relaxing your body then starts producing chemicals that help you naturally relax.
Yes.
When you stay tense all of the time, your body generates the chemicals within it that keep you stressed, adrenaline driven. and you produce more and more. Your body's so smart. It's going to produce exactly what you need.
It's going to give you what you ask for. Just
Yes.
like in my training too, I'm not a physician, but in my training in medicine as an NP and PA, and even in the physiology classes, it's a thing there that, you learn so much.
Yes.
And that's why I made a switch, because after working in the hospitals and the emergency room and all these places, you get to see that, this people don't have to live like this.
Yes.
You don't have to be this way. And I'm just so happy that we're going over. And I just wanted, just in case you just tuned in, our topic today is stem cells, your genes, and making miracles for your body.
Yes.
That is very, very powerful. And you need to know that, because we want you, and Dr. Sarah Larsen we have so much in common, but we want to see people have the best quality of life. And that's why we're here today. And to stress the issue of the best quality of life. And it's simple things you do.
It's so simple for you to be able to step into and become the most activated version of yourself. Mm-hmm. What activated means is when you're living in passion, and when you're living in the current moment, and when you're living, when you get the mind, body, spirit connection. Oh my gosh.
And don't live on autopilot. Just go. Don't live that way.
What can you create for the world? If you're living the same day over and over and over again, well, your body doesn't necessarily push itself to generate and create more for you. So you're here to live this great adventure, and your heart, within your heart, Chinese Indian medicine calls it immortality cells. Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss and doors will open for you where there were none. Well, this is what it means to be living from your heart.
African
passionate,
proverbs too.
Yes.
We have our African proverbs that are really powerful as well. So just, if you couple everything together, then it's amazing on what we can go through.
Right. And
heal.
It's so... The environment and some of the African proverbs really speak to it's who you're being in the moment. Your body knows every time you tell a lie. It's so funny. Liars can't heal. Well, liars also can't generate stem cells. And so if you find yourself saying things so others will like you, or if you find yourself saying agreeable things to avoid you're not in integrity. Your body can't generate stem cells.
Because the body is not congruent.
It's not in integrity. And so it becomes stressed out when you yourself are faking something in order to go along, to get along. And within your heart, 3 conscious breaths, images of what brings you joy.
Yes.
And then stepping from there into really owning what you want. What is it that you want? We teach this all the time in Miracle Makers Academy.
Yes.
We have processes for listening to your body, for listening to your spirit, and for listening to your mind. Quite often, each of those parts, your body might want something different. There are all kinds of organisms. You've got a microbiome that it's expressing itself in your digestive tract. It's expressing itself in your immune tract, in your lymphatic system. So you've got your body, and your body has this microbiome. Then you've got your spirit, and your spirit again has these multiple parts. There's the spirit of the little child that's within you that just wants everyone to just give it to you. There's the spirit of this beautiful teenager and entitled, which is like, I deserve it. I've done all of this work. And then there is this layer that's already congruent with source, with the universe, with flow, and that spirit. And you've got to know within your spirit who's communicating.
Right.
And then we know that your mind, your left brain, your right brain, your gamma waves, your theta waves, you've got all of this different mind activity.
You know, I just want to say because what I've done with several people, and I just kind of stumbled on this. I have a lot of people who when we talk about the mind,
Yes.
and we know a lot of people tell me I can't sleep and I have insomnia. I just have all this stuff going on. So I tell them now, while they're in bed, go
Yeah.
through a meditation of gratitude.
Yes.
And if you go through a gratitude meditation, it will actually put you to sleep.
Yes.
Because you're so busy hyper focusing on yourself, that now you're pulling away from self and
Yes.
being grateful. And being grateful also is healing you as you're lying there asleep. And when you wake up the next morning, you actually feel renewed, because you basically go through the gratitude and also grateful that I'm waking up tomorrow. All thanks to God that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. So we look at the whole layer, knowing that God is the true controller and the true healer of our body. And, just being grateful. So when you're being grateful and just take your time, do the day being grateful. It is so healing for the body.
It's so healing.
Great
and when
way to sleep, because the mind is powerful.
What your body begins to generate when you're grateful is a resonance pattern. You're breathing, and more oxygen goes into your blood.
Exactly.
It's able to pick it up more of the nutrients
to the cell tissue.
go to your skin.
Yes.
And so when you get in gratitude, or when you get into appreciation, everything starts to grow. And the Dalai Lama talks about, it's so beautiful, in his book, The Art of Happiness. He talks about, if you can't generate gratefulness in the moment, generate I'm grateful I'm not. And so you might be driving down the street and there's all kinds of traffic, and you're like and you recognize, oh my gosh, my thoughts just went to not being grateful. And you can see maybe a tent on the side of the road. You can get into gratitude or appreciation by going, thank God I'm not homeless.
Yes.
Thank God. You might see someone walking, or a car that's less nice as yours, and step into, wow, I really appreciate my car. At least it's not missing the tail,
right,
or whatever that might be. You can step into gratitude. It's not the words, it's the feeling or the energy behind the words.
And I just want to say something, because I've been doing a radio show for years. I was with Interlight Radio for a long time.
Your show's amazing. It's so delightful.
You're so nice. So are yours. But then one day we were talking, and you were telling me about here at UBN.
Yes.
And it's because of you, I stepped out of that comfort zone and became into what I'm doing now.
Yes.
In hosting a television show and radio. But I want to tell you, since we were talking about that, just coming out of certain things.
Yes.
And that was not comfortable for me at first, because I came here and I met with everybody, and you said, make sure you work with Jarvis. So, and then I started working with him, and he's just truly amazing. But, coming out of that comfort zone has been so rewarding. So I want to publicly thank you for that, because it has helped me grow to another level. So it's been really
you're so
great.
welcome.
It's been really, really great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's so, and I love that everyone gets to have you now. Everyone on UBN and everyone watching gets to experience you. And I just love that I got to contribute to that.
Oh, you did. And it touches my heart too. It really does. And it's been very rewarding, and the feedback that I get from a lot of people has been really great. One gentleman who watches the show, he said, it's like, having a consultation without spending all the money. Because people walk away, and that's been my prayer since you introduced me to UBN. UBN is to be able to make a difference. If I can't make a
Yes.
difference, and then it's not, what is, my life is kind of in vain. If
Yes.
I cannot make a difference
And
in people's lives.
it's so
Thank you.
beautiful because we get to make a difference.
Yes.
And whatever you're struggling with, if you can push yourself to
Yeah.
the next level. And it's so funny because I'm hearing this a lot. Like recently, people are sending me gifts and paintings and all of this thing.
Yes.
And I'm just so grateful that I
Yes.
get to do this and get to take, your life force is so beautiful. And because it amplified all of your life, your work, everything that you're working on amplified. And everyone you touch is now just so grateful because that
I am too.
miracle,
Yes.
that miracle frequency got activated and initiated and pushed further out into the world. And my daughter is now benefiting, right?
You know, and it was just something quick. It was fun.
Yes.
And this is voice medicine.
Yes.
The machine that we use in our office. And I had one of the doctors, because at Duke University, it's called voice medicine now.
Yes.
We have a machine that's slightly different from hers. It's so simple. You just count to 100, and it really starts to analyze your physical, your emotional, your psychological. And it's quick. You get a 12-page report quickly. And it's just amazing what it tells you. And it has helped so many people, so many, young and old. And I'm so happy that, that was my prayer. When you told me she was coming, I said, okay, God, I need some direction on this. Which way we're going to go? Because not everything is in a pill. Not everything is in a liquid.
Yes.
We have to listen to people. And that's one thing in my training, you're taught to take a history and physical and do all that. But they never really train us to really listen. Listen to things people don't say.
Yes.
Watch their body language. We don't really learn all of that. So
and what's amazing is you can't bottle up. You can't bottle up true healing and sell it and market it. And all healing truly is self-healing.
Yes.
The placebo, we know that no matter what a person does, a third of the time, whatever the liquid is, whatever the pill might be, whatever the surgery or fake surgery is given, a third of the people will heal just because of their belief system.
Yes.
And those numbers go way up if they have a mindset of being connected to the current moment and a mindset of total trust with the person who's administrating.
Exactly. And that's what I tell people all the time. Could I just share one little thing? I hate to cut you off, but this was something I learned in the 70s, probably. I mean, I really date myself now. It was in the late 70s. I was working in a hospital in Chinatown. It was so funny because when I went there to work, they thought because of my last name that I was Asian. So I ended up getting the job working in Chinatown.
Yeah.
But I was working there, and this patient, oh my goodness, he gave everybody a hard time for pain meds. Well, we knew by now he was kind of addicted to it.
Yes.
And so I said, oh my goodness, he's going to give me a hard time all night. He cannot have anything for every 4 hours, and I can't give him anything, And so, God, the Spirit led me to do something with him. So I gave him something, and I said, okay, this tastes so horrible.
Yes.
So you have to swallow this piece of this pill, and it was broken. It wasn't a pill, but you have to swallow it so fast because it tastes so bad that it works so fast, and you're going to become pain-free within 5 minutes. Do you believe me? He said, yes. And come to find, what I did was I gave him a piece of breath mint. So he had no pain.
Yeah.
So the placebo effect and what his mind and how he felt comfortable with me telling him this, he relaxed, and every day the hospital kept calling me. What did you give him? Because there's nothing documented. I said it was a breath mint. It was a breath mint. And so he had no pain, but nobody told him that. So,
your mind,
placebo effect,
your heart, and your spirit is stronger than any medicine. Your mind, body, spirit is stronger than any radiation.
Yes.
What source, God, the universe has created within you is more powerful. And so we do have herbs, we do have mushrooms, we do
Yes.
have these outside things that can help turn on the energy on the inside.
Yes.
A lot of the work that I do is with just energy. When you can see the pattern for yourself, when you can really tap into your own miracle frequency, into your own passion, there isn't anything you can't do,
You just light
including
up.
healing yourself, including turning on the genes. Well, you know, that old saying, use it or lose it. Well, if you're not thinking accurately or the same level of speed that you were when you were younger, it's because there are aspects of yourself that you stopped using that were really, really useful. And when you're reminded of those, that's what happens for you. That miracle frequency
Exactly.
turns back on, and all of it's within you, whether it's in your body, and you've got to change the microbiome. So more of the healthy cells, whether it's tapping and
Yes.
the emotional freedom pounding on your chest.
Yes. And when you turn
With-
on those microbiomes,
Yes.
people have to realize that that has a lot to do with the brain as well.
Yes.
So that we call it now gut-brain health.
Yes.
Gut-brain health, that's the microbiome. So we have to really know that when you tap into that, you're going to have clearer thinking.
Yes.
Your problems with going in early dementia and Alzheimer
Yeah.
is less, but you're going to feel so much better. You tap into that. Gut-brain is so important. There's nutritional components dealing with that too, but right now we're not going to get into the whole
Yes.
nutritional aspect. We'll do that on a later show.
We'll do that on another
on
one.
another
There's,
show.
you know, we expect gravity to work. If we
Yes.
are to like drop the glass, you know, it's going to fall. Those are external laws of thermodynamics, or these external laws that we know and believe in. Well, you have internal laws as well, internal laws that turn on stem cells, internal laws of that spirit within you, the body within you. Your will has to be stronger than the will of anything living within you. The little organisms and the little critters that are living on yours, there's 100 times more
Yes.
of them than there is your own body cells. And so when the internal laws, when your will is stronger than any other will, and that's why sometimes there's cravings for food, or there's craving for pain medicine, or your microbiome inside becomes addicted to alcohol or addicted to sugar.
Yeah, you know,
And-
I know.
Yes.
But it's just, this was so powerful, of a lady that I was working with, again in the 70s, and she had a son that was in the 7th grade who had no relatives, just her
Yes.
mom. And she had stage 4 cancer. I don't like the word cancer. I just say abnormal cells.
Yes.
She had stage 4 of these abnormal cells, and they told her she had 6 months to live. And she said, I am going to be here to see my son graduate from high school.
Yes.
You know, because he is my only child. He has no other parents and family. And because she had the strong will to want to be here,
Yes.
she lived until he graduated from high school.
It's so
power,
beautiful.
The power you have within yourself, and self-fulfilled prophecy with people.
Yes.
If a doctor, and it's usually a physician, that will tell a person you have 3 months to live because of a condition, that person sometime is gone in 3 months.
Or even
Or
even
s-
quicker,
quicker.
because
The will, because they kind of bought into that. Those who said, you know what, I'm going to beat this.
Yes.
I want to live. They had a
Yes.
strong will. You brought up the word will. That's why I kind of went into this.
I love that.
You
yes.
know, having that strong will, you know, because even with myself, you know, I had a history years ago with abnormal cells of the colon.
Yes.
And here about a couple of years ago, I was in excruciating pelvic pain. And all these thoughts kept coming around. I was watching some show, and they were talking about ovarian cancer, and I'm like, you know, then this voice kept saying, "That's your problem now.
Yes.
That's your problem." You know? And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm in so much pain." And I said, "Oh no, let me erase this right now. I'm not going to think on it.
Yes.
I'm not going to carry it. It was late at night, so I said, I'm getting into bed, and I'm taking myself through a whole healing journey, which
Yes.
indeed I have a DVD entitled Detox the Mind and the Body Will Heal.
Yes.
Meditation. I will be putting it back on the market. It is part of the book that the title of the book is Written Before I Was Born.
Yes.
Part of that book is Detox the Mind, but I'm going to sell the DVD separately because it is a whole body meditation.
It's
mindset.
amazing. Yeah.
So I put myself through this whole meditation, and I said, I will never, ever experience this pain. Any cells that should not be there are gone. Not that you're going through denial, because I'm going to definitely do all my tests to make sure, but definitely after I did all the tests, there was nothing there. That was over 2.5 years ago, and I still never experienced that pain ever again.
It's so beautiful.
Powerful,
Pain ever
powerful.
again. And most doctors, most people in medical school right now, currently, most people really, truly want you to heal. And if you bring to them Dr. Lee's book, or bring to them some of the stuff that's in Miracle Makers Academy, if you bring that wisdom to these doctors and you show, and you yourself start documenting yourself getting better and healed, our doctors, our leaders will follow based on they're using the best practices that they have right now. The best way they're bringing about and bringing forward. We can't resist what is. We need the test. We need these systems in place to make sure massive things don't happen.
Right.
And at the same time, we need each individual. We need you to take responsibility for your own medicine and bring what you're finding to your doctors, and bring Bruce Lipton's book, Epigenetics, and bring.
You should really. Everyone should definitely go online and just take the time and listen to everything he has to say, because everything he has to say is just truly amazing.
Yes,
Dr. Bruce Lipton,
Epigenetics,
please,
and that.
Because I've been following him and meeting several times. He's just a wonderful, wonderful person.
He is,
and been a researcher and a pioneer for years.
So the research that he shows is things that are expected to grow, things that are infused with possibility, ideas, thoughts, information, environmental conditions that are alkaline. They grow, they expand. Things, the genetics, the Parkinson's cells, healing, the brain cells, the skin cells, and our regeneration lives in our skin cells and lives in the boundaries that we create around ourselves. If you allow another person's desires, wants to overcast your ability to say what you want, well, it's sort of like not having a boundary. And your body then says, oh, I don't have a boundary, or I can't express freely here. So it begins to protect itself rather than grow itself. And that's sort of at the heart of epigenetics, is this getting to know what you want, beginning to express it, and believing that you're connected to a universe that is wanting you to express yourself just the way you are.
Just the way you are. And I just want to say, too, because you're just a wealth of information as well. And we have a machine in our office called Cell Wellbeing.
Yes.
Which is really phenomenal, and it's under kind of the heading of epigenetics, because we can go through and test you using a couple strands of your hair and finding out what is going on, and it kind of, so we could turn that around.
Yes.
So if you have, the predisposition to develop certain conditions, we can see what's going on through your own hair follicle, what's happening in your body. So it really goes through the whole nutritional. I like that machine as well. I love machines, as you can tell, because it can show you nutritionally what you need to add, It can show you not just nutritionally, but it can
There's
show
nothing
you.
like seeing it on paper
You can
and
see it,
right
and
and
there's
or
a
on a
full
machine.
report.
Right.
The good thing I like about this, if you follow the dietary and
Yes.
remove some of the toxins, with this test, I was able to find out that one of my patients' environment, she was exposed to a lot of external EMFs
Yes.
in her report. So I said, well, I wonder where is this coming from? And I know she had insomnia, and I know she has some other things. So I sent this gentleman out. He's kind of known in the community as well, and he can go and test your home for the EMFs, which is phenomenal. So he actually went into her bedroom with this device and found out there was a faulty wire, electrical wire, right over her bed.
Wow. And
And
so every time
nobody-
she was regenerating,
She was
sleeping.
not sleeping.
Yeah.
Her body was breaking down. Her cells were, there was a big change in her white blood cells and her
Yes.
neutrophils. And all this was happening because of the fact that this little faulty wire. And once that was repaired, she had to call the company to come out and repair it. We waited about 2 months later, repeated, and it was amazing how her body had started to heal.
Yes.
So we quite naturally with nutrition as well, but it's the environmental. So when we look at epigenetics and we look at with the cell well-being, it really picks up a lot what's going on in
It's-
your environmental.
Yes.
The toxins which you're cooking with has a lot to do with it. Heavy metals.
Yes.
If you're getting the food with all these Roundup, it's just so much that's happening to us. But if we eat food and we say, your thoughts, if we say that this food is going to make me ill, oh, I can't eat this because of this and that, we bless our food. We try to get the best quality food as possible, organic and grass-fed, grass-finished if possible, for those who are going to eat meat. But you want to get the best, and then you pray over it. Because even though you get the best, you still don't know. Even the organic food is wrapped in plastic.
Yes.
And one of the highest toxicities in the body is plastic.
And
So-
what plastic is doing is replacing the natural hormones that your body produces
Exactly.
and changes those. And it's beautiful because you can develop your own systems. When you know as a kid and that mind, body, spirit medicine, there's a frequency within you that is stronger than any other frequency that's out there. And when you learn what it is for yourself, it's really, really incredible that, and you can infuse that and pray that over your
food. Just always
and you
pray
can
over it.
really, really bring.
And you know what I do? Because I do the IV therapy,
Yes.
intravenous IV therapy, vitamin C, and then glutathione for different reasons. But I tell people the reason why we have great results is because I hold the IV bag
Yes.
and I pray over it.
Which is incredible to have your doctor or your
practitioner,
physician
Pray
praying over
and
your.
I have them sometimes
Yes.
join in with me.
Yes.
To pray over, because there's something going in your body.
Yeah.
And people who come to me say, well, I've had IVs before and I didn't hear anybody say that. But to me,
Or
it's
to
important.
get the results
Yeah, I
that
want to get
was
the results.
infused in.
Because who was a doctor's name who did the studies with the water?
Dr. Emoto
Yeah.
did these amazing studies. And
With
what-
water. And
with-
so this is water as well that's
Yes.
going in the body.
yes, it's quite incredible. And
Yes.
I love working in that energy realm, working
so do I.
in.
Yes.
It's so beautiful to bring that in. There's no distance but between points in the world. So when you're with someone in spirit, you'll think of them right before they call on the phone, and
you'll
you'll
say,
experience.
gee, I was just thinking about you,
Right.
because they'll tell you that. Yes.
Right.
It's
as
funny. I did that with you today. I said, I got to call her and see if she's already in the studio.
Yes.
At that very moment, you called me and said, I'm in the studio.
Yes.
The
It's
thoughts. Yeah, the energy.
quite an amazing experience to get. One of the things that I know, and I'm so excited, we are an organism living on another organism. So we have organisms inside us, then we are an organism. And the more we organize ourselves with our community, with the nation that we're part of, with the world that we express to, the more of our internal cells become available for that world. I'm going to just bring it back to stem cells. The more that you live from that your life matters to the world, and the more that you see that over and over again, whether it's in prayer. So you see something is happening in the Middle East, and you begin praying over Israel and Palestine, or you see something's happening in Rwanda, or and you begin praying over these places. Well, your biology does, when you're sending that energy to these beautiful regions of Earth, is the stem cells within you get initiated and activated, so that you can send more prayer, energy, love, because we are an organism living on top of an organism. And just like the laws of gravity affect, you drop an apple, it's going to hit the ground. Well, you pray, and you pray for the world. Or in Dr. Lee's case, when Dr. Lee, you came to classes, I so wanted the whole world to know about you. I'm like, this woman is incredible. You came and had some readings with me, and from there started this new life experience. That whole energy was incredible.
Wonderful.
Because now, how many people are you serving on a regular basis?
Oh my goodness, I have calls from all over the world.
All over the world.
All over the world, because I'm here at UBN.
And that
people see it,
the laws, the internal laws, are the same as external laws. They haven't yet been written down and placed into books for you to access completely. Part of that is because no one else can do what you're here to do. And when you fully, what concerns you, what you love, what miracles, or what you want to bring to the world, no one else can bring, because you're a unique, like Rubik's Cube or a combination lock. And once you start expressing those things, the stem cells, the genes within yourself, and your body fully wake up. For some people, an illness or extreme pain is what it takes for them to begin telling the truth about what they like and what they don't like, rather than pleasing others. Or it takes something extreme for them to feel like, just as they are, they're enough.
So you've said so many wonderful things.
Yes.
I'm sure that our listening audience are going to take it to heart.
Yes.
And take it into their genes.
Yes.
Not so much their genes, but they're going to take it to heart, so that their stem cells, and they can become a much healthier. From this moment on, from listening to this show, I know this show has edified a lot of people, because I could feel that my phone is ringing.
Yes.
With people telling me, thank you. Thank you. I can feel that. And I just want to say, each one, share this information, share this show with your friends and family. If you missed it, you can go to our YouTube channel, NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Please subscribe, but also go to our YouTube channel to share the show with others as well. Because we're streaming live now, but you may not find it later. And I just want to say again, Dr. Sarah Larsen, I just really appreciate you. And I thank you so much for taking the time to be a guest. And our show today was stem cells, your genes, and making miracles for your body. Making miracles. And that's what we gave you. She gave you the tools to start making miracles for your body. And this is not hard. And it's very easy. And it starts with a thought. If you take your time and start with a thought, you can start healing yourself and healing others. And it's so powerful. It's so powerful. And it's not just good for other people, but it's good for you as well. This is a universe. We're all on this planet together. So let's be well together. And I just want to thank you again. And I thank my producer over here, Jarvis, who is just amazing. So what you see is real time, not post. So thank you so much, Jarvis, for being the person you are. Because God is really using you in a mighty, mighty way. He really is. And sometimes I know we go through it, but you are a gift to so many people, and you must know that. And your blessings, big blessings, are on its way. I feel that from my heart. There's some major big blessings on the way for you. Major. Okay? I just felt it in my heart to say that right now. I really felt it in my heart to say it. Okay? Yeah. It's so overflowing. I just feel my heart is about to cry. Not of sadness, but of joy. That is something on its way for you. Beyond your means. It really is. And I want to say, because in life we all go through things, and we want to support each other as much as we can. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in today to NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. And as I always end my show, there's something I say, and I say it for a reason. Please take it to heart, because we know that the I am is so powerful. Yes. The I am. So please repeat after me. I am.
I am.
And this is for you. So you're saying it's for me, not for me. I am.
I am
so grateful
that
I am a magnet for miracles. And watch those miracles happen. Please text me tomorrow of your miracle that happened today. Please text me. I want to hear about your miracles. Or call me at 310-419-4300 and just leave it on my voicemail. Your miracles that happen, because they're coming. They're coming, and they're already there. Your miracle is there because you're listening to the show. So your miracle is there. You have ears to hear. That is a miracle. Blessings to everyone until next time.
Join us every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Remember, healthy mind, healthy body.